Hello everyone, thanks again for joining us on another edition of Executive Corner, Expert Talks by 𝐊𝐿𝐼𝐴 TV. I'm your host, Sage, and today's special guest is Mr Mark Deuter, the Managing Director, CEO of Aerometrics Limited. And today's expert will share insights on operating a professional geospatial technology business specialising in aerial photography, photogrammetry, LiDAR, 3D modelling and aerial imagery subscription services. And as you know, we bring you the industry leaders, successful business owners all under the one roof to help you discover the insights of the stock markets. So today we're very lucky to have with us Mr Mark Deuter, the Managing Director, CEO of Aerometrics Limited. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Thank you, Sage, and good morning to you.
Well, let's get started. You've had 16 years at Aerometrics and your leadership has been pivotal to establishing Aerometrics as an industry leader. Financial year 21 saw Aerometrics deliver a strong increase in annual recurring revenue from its Metro Map subscription service, and we would love you to tell our viewers that Metro Map is an aerial imagery data providing service offering high quality, accurate imagery to a subscriber base. Mark, could you elaborate on that for the viewers as well, please?
Yeah, of course. So Metro Map is, I guess, a new way of selling our aerial photography service. You know, we've always prided ourselves at being top of the heap in the geospatial industry as far as provision of these services, but mostly it had been sold on a project basis. Now we're switching the focus to focus entirely on our Metro Map subscription model. And we're capturing every capital city 4 times a year and every rural and regional city annually. So we've got a comprehensive coverage of the Australian urbanised population with our Metro Map service.
That's great to hear. Amazing work that you're doing there. And on that note, how can AI and machine learning improve processing efficiency and provide exciting new tools for customers across the Metro Map 3D and LiDAR product suite, please?
Yeah, so AI is becoming a very interesting area for us. We deal with about 18 different industries, and each one of those industries has its own information needs that they're trying to extract from the data sets that we provide, whether it is aerial imagery or LiDAR, you know, the shape of the terrain, or 3D models, whatever. So they're all looking at it from their perspective. And AI enables us to take the customer down towards that value chain where they're extracting information that is particularly useful to them. So, a lot of the AI techniques that we're developing, are focusing on things that you can see in the imagery, but you can't necessarily generate a whole lot of statistics. And sometimes that's all that the customer wants, is a bunch of statistics of the number of swimming pools or solar panels or the number of trees in a plantation or the number of cars in a car park, those sort of things. So, the aim is to make it just so much easier for the customer.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for elaborating on that, because I was getting curious to find out about which industries in particular uses this type of technology. And from what you said, it's quite a broad base of industries that get involved. Would that be correct?
Indeed. Yeah, that's right. I could rattle them all off, but it's mining, it's defence, it's engineering, infrastructure, it's architecture, real estate, property management, local government, you name it. You'd be surprised, I think, to find just how widespread the uptake of this service is and what a difference it makes to just about all of our customers.
Thank you for summarising that in a nutshell for us. And the US 3D market is a $1 billion emerging market. How do you plan on capitalising on the vast opportunities in the world's largest economy?
Yes, it's very exciting. We're over there selling actively now, and apart from a few hiccups early on with COVID, we're now gaining some traction in the US market. We are talking to some of the largest corporations over there. We are starting to gain traction in the engineering market and the real estate and property management market. And, we can see enormous potential over there. The economy is 15 times larger than the Australian economy. And the US uptake of 3D modelling technology is a little bit behind Australia. Australia actually led the way as an early adopter of that technology. But we're finding that the US market is rapidly catching on, and the potential is huge.
great to hear it, and congratulations on being an industry leader and flying the flag for Australia there. In your opinion, how is spatial data helping grow the evolving field of virtual tourism?
Yeah, that's very interesting. 3D modelling, to the degree and the resolution and the accuracy that we're providing that service, it is quite an immersive experience. It can be used as a base for virtual reality and augmented reality type software and hardware implementations. And, you know, we find that if we've produced a 3D model, a detailed 3D model of any city in the world, it's almost like being there. It revives a rush of memories and so forth if you have been there before. And if you haven't, it really does put things into context and perspective. You know, we did a very detailed model of the city of Pau in southwestern France. We've also mapped Philadelphia and just released San Francisco. We had Denver as well. And you can walk through those models and just get the sense of actually being there. It is a truly remarkable thing.
I can imagine it'd be amazing. I think I've heard of this technology being used for also taking you back through historical ancient times, for example, walking through ancient pyramids and things like that. Really sounds fantastic. Hopefully we'll be travelling again before the start of next year, so virtual reality won't be our only option, but it sounds very exciting. And LiDAR, which actually expands to light detection and ranging technology, is a remote sensing method for measuring distances, just for the viewers out there who may be new to this. What are the benefits of using LiDAR in urban development? I know you've touched on it a bit. Would you mind elaborating on that for us?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, you're right. It is a technique for measuring distances. But if you apply that distance measuring technique millions of times over a second, which it can actually do 2 million samples a second, it's remarkable, you build up a very accurate picture of the shape of the terrain and also all the infrastructure and vegetation that's sitting on top of the terrain. And that can be utilised in a whole number of different ways. We started off initially measuring pit volumes and stockpiles for the mining industry, but we've diversified that operation considerably now so that we're measuring things like construction and engineering, measuring the amount of material that has to be moved for a new freeway or road construction, for example. In vegetation mapping, we can actually penetrate through the top of the canopy right down to the ground, so you can see the surface of the ground underneath the vegetation, which would obscure the terrain surface in a normal aerial photograph. And measuring the growth of vegetation, the biomass now, we've got very sophisticated techniques for coming up with the biomass of a particular area, and that's found applications in bushfire fuel load modelling, for example, where we can really help to assess the risk of bushfire fuel load modelling by mapping the understory and coming up with detailed statistics on that. There is a very wide range of applications for that again as well, 10 different industries that we're working with there now.
Thank you so much. And we have to start winding up the discussion. But just before you go, how do industries that require this technology find you? Do you market yourself quite rigorously, or do they seek you out just out of curiosity?
Yeah, good question. Up until now, it has been more or less a question of companies seeking us out. We were very busy just handling requests for quote and tender. I think we're adopting a much higher public profile now. We've embarked on an advertising campaign for our Metro Map service, and that's attracted a broad base of consumer interest, I guess, particularly in the SME market. So yeah, we're aiming to make our brands household names, Aerometrics and Metro Map, and so people are aware that where to go when they need those particular services. And it is surprising how many people find that they can't live without the service once they've actually got it.
Yes, and then that's good to know. It's available on subscription through Aerometrics as well, the Metro Maps. Would that be correct?
Yeah, that's correct. If you go to our website, metromap.com.au, you can take out a 7-day free trial, even take up a subscription online with a credit card. So it's a very easy process.
Easy process, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for sharing the valuable work that you're doing through Aerometrics today with us, Mark. We really do appreciate your valuable insights.
Thank you, Sage. Appreciate it.
And if you've just joined us, viewers, we had a mind-expanding conversation about some very new and exciting technology brought to us by Aerometrics Limited. We had Mr Mark Deuter, the Managing Director and CEO, live with us. You can catch the full interview at 𝐊𝐶𝐞 Media's YouTube channel later today. And please stay watching 𝐊𝐶𝐞 for further live expert talks and market updates. And as we say, stay apprised and invest wise with 𝐊𝐶𝐞.